We read about Yaakov having a prophecy on the Har Moriah, and Hashem says to Yaakov, "Yizarcha kafar haaretz," your children will be like the dust of the earth. Uferasta yom of akedo, of tzefono, of negbo. They will branch into all directions. They're going to burst in all being uncontainable. The word offer is dust. It's very lowly classification. Your children will be like dust. So the Seforno cites a pasuk in Yeshayahu that when will the Geula come? Only when the Jews are downtrodden and the betachlis hashiflus, and they're at the ultimate level of lowliness and despised by humanity. Only then will the Tshuah and the Geula burst forth. So this is Zarcha Kafaretz. It's foretelling the future at the end of time. When will Klal Yisrael ultimately rise to the ultimate level? Only when we're seen and we're despised and we're seen like the dust of the earth. We have no value whatsoever. What is this concept? We have to first reach that level of lowliness, to be demeaned and to be seen of lack of value. Only then do we sprout forth. The Ramchal writes that we find that Bria, creation, is ex nihilo. It's yesh mi'ayin, which is not possible even to relate to or to fathom something from nothing. But what's the closest to that? We find that when you plant anything, before it starts sprouting, it has to germinate. What's the germination process? It has to rot to a point of almost non-existence. Only when it reaches that level of non-existence does it sprout forth. That's the way God created existence, creation. Growth, renewal only comes when it decomposes to a level of almost non-existence, then does it sprout forth. The Gemara tells us, the end of Sanhedrin, that at the time of Tchias HaMesim, time of resurrection, even those who did not decompose all the years they were in the ground, the moment before resurrection, everybody will turn to dust and instantaneously will be resurrected. They first have to decompose totally, and only from dust do they rise to be the new beings. This is the process of what? Of resurgence and re-existence, and this is the Bria Chadosha. This is the ultimate new creation. This is Tchias HaMesim. That's what it is. Identically, Klal Yisrael, before we become that nation who's recognized as the Am Hashem, where the world will take on a spiritual purview and a spiritual value, only when they will reach the Tachlis HaShiflus, only then would they sprout forth. So like that, it's the same thing. They have to always reach the level of almost nothingness, and only from the nothingness does existence come, since really it's the ex nihilo process of yesh mi'ayin. That's the concept. Therefore, Yozarcha kafar haaretz. But it's interesting. There's a Yalkut. The Yalkut tells us that dust, when the wind comes, it scatters dust in all directions. It has no value. How does dust take on substance? If you add water to the dust, then the dust can't be dispersed by the wind. Now, Gemara tells us, based on Psukim, that Torah is nibshul kamayim. The Torah itself is like water. Klal Yisrael, that if we imbibe water, if we're saturated with water, we study Torah, then we're adding, then the dust takes on substance. If not, we'll be scattered in every direction. So when are we secure? When are we protected? When are we empowered? When we have the water within us, which is the Torah itself. Otherwise, we're dust. But yet this is not the case by the nations of the world. Because what is the essence of the Jew? The essence of the Jew is not his physicality. The physicality is only to facilitate the spirituality, which is the Torah and the mitzvahs. Therefore, if you have the Torah, then you have substance, then you have value. If you don't have the Torah, then your value is not being addressed. Therefore, you will be scattered in all directions.